All right, so I came across this article and I don't really know how to feel about it.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, it won't be a long video, I don't think. I say this every single time and then we go on for 20 minutes, but I feel like this one will be pretty short. So before we talk about this really quick, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, or become a Patreon and YouTube member, only $2 per month. And if you don't want to do any of that, just subscribe or like the video, and that helps as well. So let's take a look. So it says here, this is from Oscar Barkis, Air Alamo. It says, Team USA downfall proves Spurs controversial decision was 100% correct. So what is that controversial decision that he's alluding to? Well, he's basically talking about Austin Reaves, because as we know, USA, they didn't do too hot. All right, we all know that. We know Team USA did not do too hot, and Austin Reaves, he was a big part of that, but it's not all on him. So I didn't just read the headline and just say, oh wow, I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying here, but I read the rest of it, and I don't know, man. It's like this. So we went over this as well. Bill Simmons saying the Spurs not maxing Reaves gets dumber every week. But I don't think that this was a controversial decision, was it? I mean, I keep up with the San Antonio Spurs fan base like religiously at this point. A lot of you guys, I don't think we cared that much that the Spurs didn't get Austin Reaves. Like, truly, I don't think anyone cared. I don't think it was controversial. It was Bill Simmons that came out and said that, in which he thought it was controversial, but overwhelmingly, at least from Spurs fans, people didn't find it that controversial. And I've been very open in saying I think Austin Reaves is very hyped. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a really good player. And this article also says that he's a solid player. But overall, I think that the Spurs not getting him really was due to the fact that the Lakers were going to be able to match regardless. And yeah, this article also shows like his poor defense on this play, as we can see. Pretty bad. And this person said Austin Reaves is food on defense. But just reading on, we'll just read some of this at the end. It says Reaves was not the sole reason for the embarrassing finish at FIBA World Cup, but his defense made him unplayable against several opponents. That sort of effort won't fly on a team coached by Greg Popovich, which hopes for a return to elite Spurs defenses of the past. I disagree. I think it, like Popovich, yeah, he would get on to certain players, specific players or whatnot. Popovich has calmed down quite a bit with that, especially since the team is so young. But the San Antonio Spurs were interested in Austin Reaves. Like they were. Austin Reaves has even confirmed that one of his decisions were, well, I might go to the Spurs, but initially, decided to stay with the Lakers. So the Spurs were interested in him, and I think Greg Popovich would have been completely fine with Reaves. I don't think he would have had an issue with Reaves. I don't know. It just seems like a very strange comparison, or not comparison, but just a really strange thing to bring up. The fact that, well, he wasn't that great with Team USA, thus obviously the Spurs made a great decision. I don't necessarily think so. I just think that they were going to pay way too much for Austin Reaves. He's a very good player, and he's the type, funny enough, I say this all the time, he's actually the type of player that I think the Spurs will need in the future. Like he fits that bill. It's just that at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think that he would have been worth splurging out all this money, and you weren't going to be able to beat out the Lakers. They were going to go pretty high, or at least they were willing to go pretty high. So I don't know, just kind of a strange article I came across, and it's just one of those things where I agree, but then I just kind of disagree with the framing a little bit. And yeah, I mean, first off, I don't think it was controversial, and if you tell me in the comments it was, I'll take your word for it. I'll read through and say, no, Clay, you're off on this one. But I don't know. It didn't really seem like a controversial decision at all. I think most Spurs fans were pretty happy with that decision. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I'll get with you guys later. Till next time. Bye.